Hey, Trish. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Are we there yet?
Nope.
No. So we're continuing, and I got to quit saying so all the time. We're continuing with questions from our kids, and there's a couple from, well, I guess I'll start with Jonathan's question first. Mm-hmm. He said, my question would be, why not get an RV to travel and stay mobile that way? We've kind of mentioned that we're not doing an RV, mm-hmm. but we really haven't addressed the why of it. So you want to tackle this one?
Some of the why.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like we've talked about it so much that I don't know if we've recorded our conversations about it and posted it yet. But a big why, I think, is because we'll be working the whole time.
Yeah.
And we both need very reliable, standing Wi-Fi availability. I think that's one of the bigger reasons. Another reason is part of this trip is focused on as economical a 3 years as we can have, just to continue to save and live frugally. And when we started doing some of the cost analysis, when you add in the risk of being literally on the road the whole 3 years instead of just in spots between, they break down a lot. Would we rent one? Would we buy one? If we bought one, we would definitely cash flow that. We would never finance that. So that chips into the whole portion of, what we're ultimately trying to save.
Right.
Then there's fuel, which is, they're not gas economical. Really, I feel like when you and I, fleshed out the price, even monthly for something like that, it still came out to be more affordable to go the month-to-month Airbnb route instead of an RV. There's another portion is the safe, like the sureness of where we're going to be.
Right.
When you're in an RV, there's a lot of planning ahead you have to do to know where you can park, where the things are that you need, like I guess to hook up for the things you need.
Right.
So there's been a lot of things that we've thought about in that. I'm not opposed to that kind of living, as far as smaller, a little less convenient, and a little less like a home. Mm-hmm. That's not something I was necessarily opposed to, but it just didn't turn out to be the more economical and practical thing for us, considering the lifestyle we're having to maintain while we're not sitting in one place. We still have to work. Like my work is very, it's time sensitive. I have to be available and
structured. Yeah.
Right. I can't really deal with iffy Wi-Fi signals and things like that. So
I would even add something that we have talked about this a bit, is there's a lot of extra work involved with an RV, mm-hmm. From, like you mentioned just a second ago, the hookups, the disconnects, the dumping. Mm-hmm. There's so much that's time consuming added to it, and I'm not against working. We're both hard workers, mm-hmm. but at the same time, for every yes, there's a no. And I think with this, when we're talking about our choices, if we committed to that kind of lifestyle, that means we're taking away some other things that mm-hmm. I think I would rather use that time for, because...
Right. Like one of the things we'd have to say no to if we said yes to the RV version of these 3 years coming up would be, one of the main things we're trying to do when we are in a place is to sit still in that place, to have a home base, to walk the neighborhoods and get out. Yeah. And I don't know that we would default to that as easily from an RV as we would if we were plopped in a neighborhood or, get out and meet people. Like, I think we still do that. We would still do that in an RV.
But I think the dynamic in that would be totally different, because mm-hmm. you would kind of hang around with other RVers.
Right.
Where when you're in a neighborhood, especially like an Airbnb offers mm-hmm. us, typically plopped in the middle of a location, mm-hmm. is you can then use that as a launch point to walk. Mm-hmm. So, if you go on vacation and you're in an RV, then you kind of go from that to get in the car and drive downtown to then start your community walk. Mm-hmm. So that engagement of finding a coffee shop, we're going to go grab coffee and breakfast in the morning or mm-hmm. whatever, that dynamic shifts when you're in an RV.
Mm-hmm. Also, I can see us really congealing with other RV people, but that doesn't give us necessarily a strong sense of the people in any area.
Right,
like
flavor.
What we're trying to get is to know just what the people are like in an area, what life will be like, because we're looking for where we're actually going to settle, not where we're going to go hang out with other people who are about to leave.
Right.
So,
yeah, we've actually seen this with a number of the people that we follow on YouTube, like A&K, Adventures of A&K. They talk about sometimes running across people that they've met at other RV places. And so I think that dynamic, though, is you're not looking to find the same people over and over again. You're really looking to see what the area brings to it that's unique. That's kind of like the flavor of Texas or the flavor of wherever we're going to be. Okay, if you're if you're seeing this video and you're like, okay, everything changed. First, the room's dark. Brian has completely changed his outfit. Do you get the same thing on? I don't even remember. So this is
the same thing on.
This is now the afternoon of Saturday when we're recording, and this is the nature of our life. We've got kids coming through and different activities. So right at the end of the other video that we were recording, you hear Herschel bark, and that's Wesley coming in, and then Wesley, Matthew, and I, they were got it in the right order, worked on Matthew's brakes and had to replace both. And so take a look at these pictures. These are the before and after pictures. Of the brakes and the rotors. Just say his brakes needed replacing.
Parenting adult children, y'all. It is not for the weak.
Oh, but I was so proud of these guys. So I just want to throw this in there because it's not often that you get opportunity to tell your kids, wow. I did this several times today, though, because for one, I kind of stood back more as an observer and help out a little bit, and I'll let them take the lead. I was just there to help. So Matthew and Wesley worked on the brakes. Matthew did the observing on the first set of brakes on the rear. And Wesley really got in and tackled the thing, and they worked together. But what's interesting is as they moved to the next brake set on the right rear of the truck, Wesley pulled Matthew in. And this is really neat because Wesley's strength is mechanical things. He's really good at working on cars and doing stuff like that. So when he stepped back and brought Matthew in and it's like, hey, Matt, you want to take over? And then he coached him and he encouraged him all the way through. And then when they completed it, Wesley asked Matthew, he said, do you feel accomplished? And it wasn't a cut or anything. It was really just genuinely him being so kind. And I did my heart good. So the brakes are perfect and sound great. There's no squeal at all. And Matthew was grinning and says he won't be embarrassed by the sound of his brakes. So.
Doesn't have to turn the radio up anymore to just not hear the sound.
That's right. Oh, and part of the time while they were working, Nick FaceTimed him, and he was there to give moral support to his brother. So Nick and Wes have a lot of commonalities in how they approach working on things and being coaches and such. And so it's really good to see these guys really as adults stepping in and taking care of adult responsibilities. Side note, okay, I think we were wrapping up with the answer for Jonathan, and I kind of watched the last little bit of that recording. Was there anything that you thought of that we didn't cover in that? And I think our point being, the biggest part of RV for us is we really want to enmesh ourselves into a community. So with an RV, you tend to be in an RV park, and it tends to be with people who are traveling to that location as well, not necessarily those who are living in the area. And so our goal is really to be a part of the place that we're looking at to see if this is somewhere we'd want to live and the people we want to be around and the community that's a drive for us. So I think that was really the key for that. Any other thoughts on that one?
I think that covers it.
All right. What's our next question?
Nick had the question, how are you planning to keep your routines, friendships, fitness, church, while you're on the road? Like the one I pulled out most from that, because we've already addressed like church and fitness and even nutrition, is relationships, friendships. How are we going to maintain those relationships while we're on the road?
So how would you start that one?
We've thought about it a lot, talked about it a lot. We talk about everything a lot.
So one of the things I think about is, for one, we're doing this. We're documenting our travels and even the planning part. And I kind of almost want to apologize for the front side of this, because this has got so much that's just us talking and you're not really seeing a lot. But I think this is really valuable for the long term, because this is one of the things I think that gets missed in a lot of travel type things and things that require a lot of time and thought, is you don't see the time and thought that went into it.
Or the the real world, which we're all about, like keeping it real, being transparent. This has not been a flippant decision. We're not being hasty with anything. We definitely are thinking through things. So.
Right. And so for us, a big part of this video and capturing this is really a way for our people to be able to kind of keep up with where we are. Now, that doesn't necessarily keep us in the loop of everything they're doing, but you stay pretty active as far as keeping up with your people on Facebook and things. And so, and then trying to stay in touch with each of our kids. Between all of us, between Trish and I, we have 8 kids, and so that's a lot.
And they're people.
So that's a pretty full house of people to stay in touch with, and so we're really trying to keep up with where they are. And also, the launch point for this whole thing is when we leave Moore County, North Carolina. The first thing we're going to do is do some things with our kids. So we're going to visit Nick and Gabby in Germany. We're going to visit John and Emily in Salt Lake City, Utah. We're going to visit SJ and Noah in Denver, Colorado. We're going to have some of the kids meet us in Texas, where Melson's going to be coming through performing with the Drum Corps International. So we're going to have some connections with our people in different places. And one of the things we're going to try and do is, as we're in different places, to try to pull the kids to us in some of those locations. Of course, I think we're going to have a whole lot of hands raised when we're looking at Hawaii.
Maybe.
We'll see. But so that's kind of the thing, is with our kids, we're looking at connecting with them throughout the time. Now, as far as others,
like our friendships, we already sustain a lot of our friendships from a distance as is.
Yeah.
Like we've got a trip planned in January to meet some friends of ours from Tennessee. So my connections are so virtual anyway with work that I'm kind of used to keeping it going that way. And then our local friends, neighbors and stuff, we've already started putting our neighbors onto watching this. But this isn't really connecting like what I think Nick means and what we prefer the most, which is a true connection.
Right.
Like I've said, keeping it real, keeping it transparent, doing genuine connection. I think we're going to miss it. We've taken a break this semester from coming together with a lot of our friends regularly on Tuesday nights. We kind of stepped back from that for a semester, a few months to regroup. And
you didn't say what that's about, though.
Okay, go ahead.
So what Trish is talking about there is we've been active for about 3 years now with a ministry at our church called Re-Engage, and it's been a fantastic opportunity to work with couples and walk them through the program, and fantastic program.
We've just built such good friendships, though, with the leader, all the small group leaders in that team. And I miss seeing them every week, but I still feel connected and in touch in ways. I know I could wave my flag at any moment and they'd come running and they could do the same.
Yeah.
So, and they all know about our plan, so we're going to figure it out. I think we'll stay connected the best we can while we're also making new friends. That's
right.
That's kind of going to be interesting. It'll be a big investment of ourselves.
Right. And one of the things that we found, and this, I don't know if we've ever covered this before, but we started this whole process of, okay, so once we're on the road, I have blood pressure medicine that I have to take. And so with just our basics, and then dental and things like that, which actually ties back into this question a little bit, because we're going to have to come back at least once a year to see our medical providers. And that's so that they can see us, make sure labs and everything are up to date, also file new prescriptions that we'll carry with us as we hit the road. And so that gives us an opportunity to come back into town, reconnect, and we actually have some friends who've told us, when we're back in town, you've got a place to stay. So
I think as the time is nearing and life continues to change a teeny bit at a time, I think we're going to end up coming back to North Carolina more than once a year. Just my mom's here and she'll need checking in on, and we've got a lot of the kids that are staying back here, and I can imagine we'll swing through more than once a year to just kind of have opportunities to get together with people, even if it's just being here in the state for a week and a half, so that we can get everybody kind of on the calendar to see, touch base with, love on a little bit, and shoot off again maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're being so flexible with everything that I think that's a good thing, but I can see too how it can be like without a plan, you're just not doing anything. I don't think that'll be the case, but I like that we're staying flexible because we have such a big family, and I think it'll be good to know that we really can do whatever we want. I mean,
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
Anyway, for Nick's question, do you think we covered it? How will we sustain and maintain
I
like
think
the health of our relationships?
Yeah, I think the relationships aspect, we'll do the best we can. We do try to stay in touch with everyone as best we can, and I think what we'll find is we'll probably connect with our kids even more when we're moving, and kind of can keep them up to date with where we are, not just by sending them a YouTube video, but literally, hey, this is where we're at right now, or this is where we're going to be next month, to kind of keep them posted. And
another thing is, I think it's going to be great that with a constantly changing, that's our dog, if you heard him, he's singing. With a constantly changing location, I would love if we had an uptick in the... Okay. I would love it if we had an increase in the opportunity to host our friends more. Like, hey, we're in this cool city. And we know, once we kind of get the plan, as we're going, and we're like, we know in March we'll be in whatever city and state, that we'll have the opportunity to host our friends and let them in on some of the fun, So that could be another way that we could sustain those relationships and seeing people in a way we can't now. I mean, it's not, we'll host our friends, we have, but it's the same place. It's not that exciting. So giving them an opportunity to see a new place, I don't know, it could be a neat way to stay connected more than we do now.
Right. And then for the rest of Nick's question about our activity level and fitness, we're walkers, and so part of that is going to be walking wherever we're going to be located. Definitely hitting the nature locations, whether it's trails and hikes and things, and try to be a part of that. We've already mentioned when we answered Emily's question about our fitness or lack thereof, how we're looking at bringing our stretch bands and weights and possibly joining Planet Fitness, which we can go to everywhere across the country. I think that really kind of covers the bulk of his question.
He asked about church too, which I think we've mentioned. We've got our church online, which is fantastic. We're connected beyond just online at Sundays with the membership there, so that's really great. And then you and I have talked about checking out a church. While we're
Certainly.
Like, why not? That could be kind of fun too.
Agreed. So that kind of wraps up, I think, the question from Nick. And I think we'll go ahead and cut this one here. But be paying attention for, you see Herschel walking around. We'll continue posting more questions and answers. And if you guys have any questions that you'd like answered, or you've kind of walked through this series with us a little bit and thought, what would you do in this scenario? We'd love to hear from you. So post those in the comments.
Or challenges. If you want to challenge our plan, we need that. We need people to shoot holes in it so we can see where the holes are. We need to make sure we're kind of thinking of everything and not being too
cavalier.
About it. So, just let us know.
All right. Until next time, you guys have a blessed day.
Hey, don't stop here. The journey's just getting good. Click over to the next video and join us as we keep chasing down what there really means.